When you think Mario Kart, you usually think fun. Racing through amazing tracks with crazy music and weird items flying around is the very definition of fun. However, one word you'll almost never hear to describe Mario Kart is spooky. I mean, it's Mario Kart. What could you possibly find in these games that would be considered spooky? Well, look no further than the ghost tracks. Surprisingly, there's not that many spooky tracks in the Mario Kart series, but when we do get them, they're usually pretty solid and fun to race on. So today, I'm going to rank every ghost-themed track in the Mario Kart series from worst to best. This list will be based on how fun the tracks are, how creative they are, and a few of my personal preferences. So without further ado, let's go! 15. Ghost Valley 1. Despite being from Super Mario Kart, this course is actually not that bad. You race on a rickety wooden track in the middle of the night. The layout has a few tight turns, and the walls on the side will fall down if players run into them. There's even this shortcut you can take near the end if you have a feather. The course is very flat and gets old after a bit, but there's still fun to be had here. I also just love the feeling from this course. I like the booze flying around, and the music is very chilling. 14. SNES Ghost Valley 1. It's literally the exact same track, but now it's on the Game Boy Advance. The only real improvement to the track is the graphics, because they look a hell of a lot better than they did on the Super Nintendo. Still not the most interesting track in the world, but I still like it over the original. 13. Ghost Valley 2. It's the same idea as Ghost Valley 1, but the track design is more interesting. The layout has more tight turns, and the shortcut is a bit harder to jump over. The graphics, sounds, and overall aesthetic is the same. Even though this is better than Ghost Valley 1, it's still not the most engaging track out there. 12. SNES Ghost Valley 2. If you thought this would be just like the SNES version, then you'd be correct. Again, the only difference is the visuals, which are exactly the same as the Ghost Valley 1 remake. There's not really much more to say, it's just another Ghost Valley track. 11. SNES Ghost Valley 2. Get this, it's just Ghost Valley 2 again. The only difference is that it's in 3D now. Out of all the variations of any Ghost Valley tracks, this one definitely feels the most haunting to race on, but that doesn't make it any more exciting. 10. Ghost Valley 3. Don't worry, we're almost done with Ghost Valley tracks. This is exactly like the other courses I've listed so far, but this one has the most interesting track design. There's a lot more crazy turns to make, there's barely any walls to keep you on the track, and there's holes in the road for you to drive around. It's easily one of the best courses in Super Mario Kart, but when compared to the other tracks on this list, it's nothing too special. 9. SNES Ghost Valley 3. Surprisingly, this GBA port is actually different from the other ones. Instead of there being dead trees in the background, now there's mountains and scary monsters! Yay! It's literally the exact same track, and there's not much more to say. But hey, at least we've reached our last Ghost Valley track. 8. Boo Lake. This isn't a Ghost Valley track, I swear. I know it looks like it, but this one has some more interesting gimmicks. There's some speed boosts on the ground, there's a couple of splitting paths, with some of them letting you take a shortcut, and there's a few bumps on the road. I also love the boos holding candlelights above the track. They don't do anything, but it adds to the overall spooky vibe that this track is going for. 7. Broken Pier. This is probably one of the hardest courses in Mario Kart Super Circuit, but that's what makes it enjoyable for me. The track is very jagged all around, there's some ramps on the sides for you to take small shortcuts, and there's some dash panels scattered around for an extra boost. There's also these boos that hang around the course, and running into one will cause it to slow you down and steal your coins. For a Super Circuit track, this is pretty fun, but I'm getting really tired of talking about SNES and GBA tracks, so let's move on. 6. Banshee Boardwalk. This is definitely the most forgettable track in Mario Kart 64, but I still like it. Once again, this course takes place on a wooden road with boos flying around, but the track waves up and down a little bit, and you'll even go inside this haunted mansion with bats flying out in a couple places. I also love this massive Cheep Cheep that jumps out of the water in the middle of a race. It's just funny. This course may not be as complicated as other tracks I've listed already, but I find it to be way more fun, and that's why it's in the top half of this list. 5. N64 Banshee Boardwalk. It's the exact same track from Mario Kart 64, but the graphics are much cleaner and have more details. Also, this course feels a lot better to race on with the controls of Mario Kart DS, but aside from that, it's the same deal as before, and I'm okay with that. 4. Wario Shipyard. Some may argue this doesn't count as a ghost track, but it's close enough for me. You race through a flooded junkyard with broken pirate ships all over the place. Most of the track takes place underwater, so the driving is a little floaty, and there's a couple different paths you can take along the way. On top of that, there's a bunch of speed boosts, crabs trying to slow you down, and the ending has this awesome gliding section where you fly past a bunch of the pirate ships. Just like with Banshee Boardwalk, this is a somewhat forgettable track, but this is so much better than everything I've listed so far, and it's really fun to race on. 3. Luigi's Mansion. It's a track about Luigi, so you know it's going to be good. The first part of the course has you driving through the mansion from the GameCube. You can even see the portrait ghosts from that game on the walls, which is a nice detail. Afterwards, you'll head into this small graveyard behind the mansion, and then you'll finish it off by speeding through this giant mud section that messes with your driving, and there's even some trees walking around for you to avoid. Mario Kart DS did a great job with the fan service when it came to the tracks, and Luigi's Mansion is an awesome ghost track that's always fun to replay. 2. DS Luigi's Mansion. It's the exact same track I just talked about, but the graphics are a lot better and have more details. There's also some extra shortcuts that were added, as well as a few ramps to glide off of. The only downside is that the paintings in the mansion were now replaced with regular boos that pop out at you, but is anyone really going to complain? I'm sure someone will, but regardless, this is still an excellent track and is definitely an upgrade from its original counterpart. 1. Twisted Mansion. Nintendo took a typical haunted mansion and went absolutely wild with it. You drive on the walls with the floor rippling under you. You go inside this water section where the road splits in half. You glide over the courtyard with boos flying around, and you blaze back to the beginning with knights trying to crush you with giant hammers. This course may not be as iconic as Luigi's Mansion, but I find it to be way more fun and creative compared to anything on this list, and that's why it is the best ghost-themed track in all of Mario Kart. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to give it a like, and let me know down in the comments which one of these tracks is your favorite. Also, subscribe to my channel with notifications on so you'll know when I post more Halloween videos like this. Have a great day, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.